How you doing? I'm Michael Solomon with Anthem Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Today, I wanted to talk to you about some tips for the Coachella Valley and Inland Empire on plumbing items. So we get a lot of questions about plumbing things, a lot of calls from customers concerned about drips, noises, maintenances, things like that. So today's topic is plumbing tips for the Coachella Valley and Inland Empire. Out here, we have a lot of hard water in our area. Hard water means that there's a lot of calcium, minerals in our water, and these calcium and minerals create a lot of problems for plumbing lines. The best way to prevent these problems is to do a maintenance. So we do an annual maintenance. It's included with our maintenance program. So it comes with the air conditioning maintenance and the plumbing side. So we do an annual on the plumbing. And with that plumbing maintenance, we flush the water heaters, we check the valves, check your aerators and your sinks, clean these areas out so that your system is running properly. Your water heater is going to be maintained and has the longevity that it should have, and also to prevent any leaks that may occur in your home. So that preventative stuff is huge, because when it happens, it's a disaster versus when if we can prevent it. So the most important part of the maintenance part, and the one we get a lot of questions on, is the water heater maintenance. That does need to be done once a year per the manufacturer. And what we do on a tanked water heater is we hook up a hose to it, remove all that water, get all that sediment out, so that we can make sure that fresh water is in there. That sediment will start to cause corrosiveness on the inside of your machine, inside of your water heater. And so you're going to get build up, the calcium, the sediment, the stuff. It'll start causing rust, inefficiencies in your systems, things like that. And then your tanked water hit systems have what's called an anode rod. That's what I would call a sacrificial rod inside your water heater. And it's supposed to attract all the calcium, all the minerals, anything that's corrosive to that rod, so it stays away from the edges of your tank. And that rod can be replaced. We recommend replacing it every 3 to 5 years, and we check it during your annual maintenance to see how it's doing, to make sure there's still some life left in that rod. And then tankless also flush once a year. Those require a descaler that we run through. And then also want to clean the filters on that and the ports to make sure that it's running properly, efficient, and extend the life of those tank systems, because those are probably some of the most expensive parts of a water heater, or I'm sorry, of a plumbing system in your house. So things to look for that we get a lot of calls about. We get calls about toilets that are constantly running. You know, that toilet that you just always hear the water come on every 30 seconds. It's a waste of water, things like that. The drip in the sink, that constant drip, drip, drip in the sink. Get calls on that too. And then, of course, the one that we want to really avoid is, hey, underneath my sink, I got basically a pool of water under my sink, and now I got mold growing in there, or the wood under the sink is now deteriorated. I may have to replace a cabinet, things like that. We want to avoid those and make sure that we take care of them early and often. And that's what part of the annual maintenance. That hard water earlier that I was talking about, it eats away at these parts in your toilet. The valve that sits there, that water will start to put some calcium buildup on that valve and allow water to just seep through, constantly seeping through. And that's where you get that toilet that's just running and running. So by taking care of this hard water, you can extend the life of your valves, both your angle stops under your sink, your toilet, your shower heads, things like that. And that's an area that we want to address and take care of. We can go in there and change out those parts for you. So you don't need a whole new toilet when you hear that toilet running. We could fix that by changing out some of the interior parts. We'll call it a toilet rebuild, and take care of that area. Um, but another one thing you could do to prevent some of this and slow down the process of the calcium buildup and stuff is a water purifier. So water purifiers are really popular right now. It softens the water, it purifies the water. So now you have clean water for cooking, drinking, cleaning throughout your whole home. And it goes on the outside or in the garage, hooks up on your main water system before it goes into your home, where it's distributed throughout all the lines. So that's a great preventative way to make sure that your water is clean and extend the life of a lot of the parts of your home, the plumbing parts of your home. So and another item that we get a call on every once in a while is somebody calls up and they say, hey, my drain line, my pipes in the wall are making noise. Okay. So these pipes in your wall, when it's built, they strap those pipes. So as water's flowing through it, there is a little bit of shaking within those pipes, and they're strapped to the wood to prevent it from just banging around. Well, you can imagine over time that strapping could potentially start to loosen up. Okay. And so we take a look at those areas. Another area that causes that shaking is when the pressure in your home is too high. The water pressure in your home is too high. You could potentially be putting a lot more pressure on all of those lines, causing the lines to come loose, the strapping to come loose, but also putting pressure on those valves and everything else, which could cause leaks. So you want to make sure that your pressure regulator is properly set. And if you don't have a pressure regulator, that you put one on. So that's going to be a very big preventative item that you want to take care of on your home. Okay. So if you hear that wall kind of shaking a little as the water lines are going through, first area you want to check is your pressure regulator. Make sure it's set so that the pressure in your home is set proper, and that you're not putting too much force on those lines. The last area that I want to kind of hit on is your drain lines. So clogged drains, we get a lot of calls for clogged drains also. Clogged drains often are caused by, soap buildup, hair, just foreign objects, dirt, material, things like that inside a drain line. And so we want to take care of those lines also to make sure that they're flowing properly and you don't have a backup. So drain cleaners, a lot of times people will go out and get the Drano and stuff. Those are nice. They break down whatever that clog is into smaller items. But just like they're harsh on that clog, they're harsh on your lines too. They really can deteriorate your plumbing lines, and we try to avoid those. If you do want to use something, I would suggest that you take vinegar and baking soda, mix it together, and then pour that into your sink or your drain line. Let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then pour some hot water down that sink and see if that helps break it up. So a much more natural way to break up that clog, and it's definitely less harsh on your drain lines, to make sure that they don't deteriorate, you don't cause problems within your homes. Snakes are another way. That's where you take a metal snake or pipe cleaner, and you put it down there and you kind of twist it around. Those work, but a lot of times those are just a temporary solution. They punch a hole right through that clog, but they don't clear the whole clog. They just punch a hole through to let the water drain. Your clog's still there. So over time, that hole just fills up again. So the drain cleaners are all right. And then the best way would be what's called hydrojetting. That's where we take a high pressured water through a special nozzles, and we jet the lines and push all that water and kind of just clear that whole line out and push all that water away. So those are the best ways to clean your sink and keep your drain lines clean. Homes with older pipes, they could become an issue because the more you put a snake down there, put the chemicals down there, hydrojet it, those lines are breaking up, especially those old metal lines that older homes have. And at that point, you may actually be wanting to look at what's called a repipe and repipe those lines in there. A lot of insurance companies are actually starting to require a repipe on older homes before they'll give you insurance. So it's something you may want to look into on preventative before it becomes a disaster where you have to repipe in an emergency situation. But you want the maintenance is I'm going to go back to the maintenance. The maintenance is the best way to prevent and foresee a lot of these issues so that we don't have this problem in the future. You don't have your water issues where all of a sudden you have a flood, or you notice all of a sudden mold growing under your sink, things like that. Be proactive, not reactive in it. But if you need anything from fixing that running toilet, a new faucet being installed, regular maintenance that I went over earlier, to a repipe or clearing a difficult clog, we have the tools, we have the experience, and we have the expertise to get out and take care of everything for you. So you can give us a call at 760-895-2621. And we'd be happy to come out to help you assess what your issue is and give you a solution to your problem. So thanks for joining me today at Anthem Plumbing and Heating Tips, and hope to hear from you soon.